Right, so here we go. Let's get after it. We've got these, I'm calling the slider cabinets. This is the remainder for the Eisenhower Renker Wellness Retrofit easy-peasy cabinets. So you guys already knocked out the top port. Top starboard's coming at you. You know that. Already got a video on that. So these are going to be the 4 remaining slider cabinets. And I'm also going to do a separate video at some point for install as well, because there's, kind of a lot to go over. These aren't too hard. It's just there's specialty. So there's just a lot of fiddly bits. But, I think, you guys will handle it, no problem. So let's do the lay of the land. I'm going to start with the port side. I broke the starboard into a whole nother file because things are getting too big and things are crashing and stuff. So the port one, when you're looking at your reference PDF and everything, is sort of the main one. That's where I started. And then the starboard one is sort of just a copy of. So, but reference the port one for kind of everything. So you'll have lay of the land. You got your main slide cabinet. These are the face cabinets. They're a little wider. This is where the LEDs will live, and the pushies and all that. You see, you have your keystone keyhole sliders there. You got one piece backers, which is great. It's just bend these up, and then you'll tack in the little braces. And this is basically what gets mounted to the wall. The skins, because everything's bigger than 10 foot, it's all broken apart. So it's kind of got fiddly. So I'll go over that, but it's pretty straightforward. Keep an eye out for all these little guys. These are going to be how you mount the trays, the white LED trays. So the port side, I went ahead and sent both of these over just so he could do the file and get it over with. So these are the 3/8 aluminum slider pegs, a la the La Quinta Monument that we like so much. Look out for those. You've got port side whites. The difference is the collection points. I'll go over how when you wire this up, the collection points are in different spots. So keep an eye out for PRT for port on all these. And then the starboard will have theirs. Renker Wellness Center. So I went ahead and did both sides, port and starboard, all in one file, all the pushies. And I did all the pushies, or all the backers for these as well. So we're good to go there. All right, so let's go over it. Nothing too crazy, but just little weird things that we just want to make sure we get right. So let's start with from the wall out. So you're going to have a one-piece backer that goes to the wall. You have these weird teeth. That'll be for the corner side. I got everything set up. You got corner, CRNR. That's the corner. And then this is the end. Again, like we talked about earlier today, don't get it confused with any other part of this. This is truly the end. And by end, I mean, the end of the cabinet and then the end of the cabinet over here that hangs off. Those are the two. That's what I mean by that. So corner is sort of the bow. That's the one that comes to a point. So any of these that have the teeth, that's the port side. Keep the ports all where they're at, where they got to be. So you're going to end up with this profile here, except it's going to be continuous all the way across. So you're going to make sure you get your bends proper. You're going to bend this one, flip it around, put it inside the brake, trap it, bend it, and pull it out. Make sure these are good in 90. Make sure everything's nice and sexy on that, because the other cabinet has to slide on top of essentially this rail. So we want to make sure everything's looking good. And then once you get all this bent up, what goes inside here? You have your 4 main supports here that will support the little 3/8 pegs. And so those are just little shoebox things like you do. You'll just go ahead and put the orange ones to the back. It slides in. Yeah, the green one's on top. Just go ahead and rivet it. You're done. Good to go. Then you can slide it inside and go ahead and tack it to the back here. You can tack it across the face here and then grind it. But again, make sure everything's all nice and smooth for when you slide it. And then once those are in, that's pretty much it for those. Then you have a mini version. It's called mount. It's got an M for mount. And this is going to be how the top face slides on and then attaches to these 2 flanges sticking out. The mount guy is a skinny mini. It's only going to attach to the face. That way there's clearance on the backside for this flange and the rivets. So I'll show you. So you work your way all the way over here. And so you can see how skinny this is going to be. You're going to go ahead and rivet it together. And then these flanges are going to go on the back side of this. The B is for back. And then you're going to just go ahead and rivet those on. And then Let's see if I got a side view here. Yeah. So you can see this is the main mount here, right? And then you can see how skinny this is, but that way there's clearance for all this shenanigans in the back, and you're just going to tack it to the front. And then this thing is going to stick out far enough to where it's going to interact with the baffle. I'm going to show you that here in a minute for the whole face thing. And again, I'm going to do a whole separate video for how this installs, because it's, that way this is mostly just to build it. So anyway, so I think you got the idea there. So when you're all done, you'll have all this, and you'll have these two flanges sticking out, and those are done. Do they need to go to paint? I don't think so, unless we want to spray them to protect them or something. But I think these can go straight, just directly out. You will see this tiny bit here. So it's just over 090. So, I don't know what the call is if we want to paint that or not. So we'll just have to get reference on that, whether we want to paint it or not. So anyway, so now comes the face frames. Again, pretty straightforward. They're going to be asymmetrical. The back side's bigger than the front side there. So you'll have a 1-2. I don't have it here, but I think you guys know by now that you're going to, clamp the small one first and then do the big one second. Do this one second. But it is asymmetrical all the way around. And you have your jigs, so go ahead and weld your jigs in. And then your face, just like the top boxes, you have face C channels. I put S for slider. These are a little shorter than the ones that you had above. You guys will probably have the top boxes done by the time these are routed, but just so you don't get them confused, S is for slider. These are shorter, but they're basically the same thing. You could try to install it and go, hey, this doesn't work, because these are the same jigs here. These guys are the same jigs. So anyway, so you'll go ahead and put those on the front. Again, that'll be where you put the face seam, and it just gives it some support right here because this guy's so long. And then the face is actually going to be sticking out further on both sides, so don't worry about that. So get your frame all done, and then let's talk about the baffle. The light baffle is a little weird because, this thing sticks off the end. You can see how much, so the frame comes to here. This is you can see the short face side and the long side on the back. And then we're going to talk about this baffle here. And that's going to be where it tries to block as much light as possible. And this right here is the wall. So that's the wall right there. So you can see how much this sticks out. So anyway, let's talk about the baffle. So you're going to take these two pieces here. Let's see, this is the blue, the blue outline here, and you got the red outline. It's longer. So the idea is, where's my exploded view here? So this right here is the cabinet that you just made, right? That's this part here if you're looking down at the top. And you're going to have rivet holes on the inside of the cabinet. So do this before you put the face on. And so make your frame, get ready. And you can see where here's your blue dots here. That's the end over here. That part is this light baffle. So you're going to bend this piece up right here. That's this guy right here. And you are going to rivet that piece here from the inside, rivet it on. Then you're going to take this piece, and again, you have these flanges here, so you've got a 1, 2, 3 bend, because this one here is a 1, you got a 2, and then this one's longer. That's going to be your last bend. So you're going to take the blue guy, you're going to rivet it to the frame, and then you're going to take the red guy, and he's going to get lords to both the blue. So you can see where here's the red guy. He gets lords to the blue, and it's going to be a spot here where the face is going to continue past, and it's going to lords to this. So it creates like this weird little, put together piece. And then on the faces here where it says end, you see these 3 dots here. These are Clico holes, and you're going to lords the end of that face to that baffle piece here. So that'll be probably the last thing you do is putting on that face. Put him to the bottom there. There you go. So that's your 09 face there, and you'll lords it right there. And then so that way this creates like a light trap. So you'll lords it here, and you'll lords it here, and you'll rivet it here, and that kind of creates like a end piece for this whole nonsense that sticks out. And then this long flange here protects us from light leaks and and communism and stuff like that. So once you get this frame done and you get this little end piece on, you'll see that these two flanges are ready to receive clecos as well. And that's where you're going to lords that. At that point on, you're going to lords the main skin on. So go ahead and do that. And like I said, you'll be able to lords the skin to this little flange here and just kind of lords everything all together. And then you'll have on the corner side, I'll go over this part, but you'll just have a bunch of skin hanging off this side. So go ahead and put both skins on, shoot your studs and all that, of course. Put your skins on and then get this little light block all done. Then it's a matter of putting your top and bottom skins on. Now your top and bottom skin is going to lords to the frame here. So you can see where here in the blue, here's your frame. Here's your 2 dots, here's your 2 dots, here's your 2 dots. So that's this here. So you can see where this is justified over. This much right here is going to be hanging off in space. That is the floaty part. That's the part that kind of seals, but it doesn't. So if you look at the side profile here, let's see, I thought I had one. Yeah, there you go. So you can see how much skin, this is the skin that you're going to lords on right now, bonk. And you can see where it only lords to the frame here. And then this part here hangs over. And that's the part that clearances the frame that you're going to put on the wall, or install is going to put on the wall. So you're going to be lordsing there. But at the baffle box at the very end, you'll see where you'll have these cleco holes here line up with this weird baffle box. So this top skin will come in like this, and you'll go ahead and lords it to the blue frame here. And then when you get here, you can blob a bunch of lords to these tabs and maybe put some around the edge, you know, as much as you can. And that will then support this whole contraption, this lame little box out here. So the top skin will take care of all that. Now, of course, the top skin is longer than the router. So now we have this corner nugget piece to deal with. So how would you do that? Well, this is what I came up with. So now you have a flappy skin here because the skin goes longer. Here's your frame, right? The blue. So you have this much skin sticking out. So I made up this piece. It's a corner piece here that has a bend that will lords to the face. And then it lords to the cabinet. And then you can squish in some lords here. And that'll be the seam. But this will be your 45. So that piece is right here. So you'll see that's the piece that you lords to the face. And then this part here lords right here to the top of the frame. And then that makes your corner piece there. Now, for the port side, you'll also have these pieces here, these little weird little trays. I have these so that way this will support the other face and it automatically brings these 2 points together. Kind of like we talked about with the other one. So you can see where this is your blue frame, and then this is your kind of corner piece that you're going to lords on. And then underneath you lords this piece, and it's going to stick out this much. So that's a tray that when they go to put the starboard side in, it's going to rest on that tray, and it's going to be automatic alignment, and we'll have a good chance at success of bringing these together. So anyway, so it's a little extra step. That's only on the port side. You're not going to see that on the starboard side. So you get your frame, do the little silly box over here, then you lord your faces on, then you lords the top face and the top skin and the bottom skin, lord your front skins on. Then you do these nugget skins here to complete the journey around the corner. And then once those are on, then you're going to lords from underneath these two little trays. Because you can see those are the three little clecos there, and those are the three clecos. So once you're done there, that's pretty much it for these frames. So again, like I said, it's not hard. It's not going to be too difficult. It's just fiddly. Just because once you have to start chopping these up and there's not a lot of clearance, the easy peasy kind of goes out the window. But once you kind of think it through, they become easy peasy after that. So now let's talk about light baffles. So you're going to take, I try not to use the little break too much because we know it's kind of wheezy. It's not really that great. But what you want to do is do main break bend 1 and main break bend 2, and then save these for the Bebe box break. So what you're going to do though is complete and just do a four-sided complete box. Again, the whole idea, we don't want light leaks both on the top box and this guy here. So this baffle here is to try to get rid of light leaks, and the corner here, we don't want light leaks. The main success that we're going to have though is we're going to start at the source and we're going to caulk these completely shut. And then the idea is, this is not to scale, but the idea is that these light boxes are going to seal up pretty much right against the face, just like that. And then you're going to frap these from the back, and then these are going to seal up and they're going to stay within the whole face unit when it goes to get slid on. And so this little bit of space here, I have a little bit of extra space there. This should seal these up 99% right up against the face. That's going to be our level of success. And then you're going to have these baffles and stuff, and you're going to have these corners here that it should negate any light leaks. So anyway, so that's the whole idea here is main break 1 on this side, and then put it in the little box break, bend it up on 2, and then from the inside, caulk them up really well all the way around. Good to go. So once those are done, then in order to mount those, you're going to see that you're going to have these double little cleco holes that work their way around. That's where we're going to mount those. So it's going to be a little bit of bending. You're going to have these on each one. So you're going to bend these up, and you've got a 2 on one side, a 1 on the other. That's how they mount. And you're just going to lords those to the faces once these frames are all built, the faces are on there. But you can see your 1, 2 purples there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, mic check. That's how these are going to go on there. And then you can see the double orange here. That is the perimeter of that light box. So you can see how it's going to seal up nice. So once you put your pushies in there and you got all that taken care of, then you're just going to put these on there, and they're going to shoot screws from the back, and then we'll collect our leashes and everything. So so that's the light boxes. Keep an eye out for JMH. That's the Joel Hirschberg building, JMH, and then look for Renker Wellness Center, RWC. So that's for everything. If you see RWC, Renker Wellness. If you see the other one, the JMH, that's Joel Hirschberg. So that's that. Okay, so final for fab. So I think that's it for you guys. You know, once you get these all lordsed up, send them out to paint, you know how we do. Starboard's going to be the same. It's just that you're missing, but yeah, everything's going to be the same. It's just that you're missing those 2 little corner pieces because we don't need those on this one. Even though they're there, you ignore that because I just copy pasted from the other one, but they're not there. And then you can see where the mounting is going to be, or the power out is on a different side. That's all. But otherwise, these are the same, you know, LED trays and all that. Same box break, everything. So now let's talk about routing wire for install. Because these are going to, you can see where they'll lock in here, and then they have about 1.5 inches of travel. We do not want, you can see where these are going to be the pinch point here. We do not want power wire getting in between. You can see the blue is the frame here, and the purple here is, that's going to be the main frame that goes to the wall. You can see where there's really no room for clearance for wires. So you want to make sure that we do the wires in such a way that that they're clean and out of the way. So let's just take port, for example. So you'll have out here, you can do blue page is fine. Do the blue page is easier to work with. Give yourself a leash that'll come over. Now these are only 1 inch tall, so you can go behind here, but I would take this out, do a zip tie sticky here, run it over, do a zip tie sticky, collect all your blues. I would do another blue, and then I would take it to about here and do a zip tie sticky and bring all of these together. Then do a single gray Sloan out leash for all of this for the port side. And that's for the port side. And you're going to want to make sure it stays nice and up against the face, make sure it's super neat. You're going to want to make sure you get enough to bring it over from this area here, right, around the corner. So this is about 4 feet here, but you're going to want to be able to make it to where it comes around here, and then it goes through 12 inches and it goes into the power supply. You guys made that custom Mark 6. It's going to be on the starboard side. So you're going to collect all of your page blues, stick it down really well to the face, make sure it's clearanced, and then give install. I would give it a full 15 feet all the way around. That way, when it comes time for them to, they'll put these on the wall. They're going to slide this and put it over, and they're going to take that gray and they're going to sneak it through here, and they're going to drill a hole through. And that way they'll have a leash that goes all the way through. And then same thing with starboard. You're going to want to do all your pages to a collection point around here. Now, obviously you don't need a 15-foot gray, but you want to give them a nice long gray, maybe 10 feet out. That way it comes through. And that way they can do collection here and then, do their wiring and stuff here. But that way they have a nice gray out for both of these. And then from there, it's all page blue. That's fine. So that's kind of, how you're going to want to do that. But you're going to make sure that everything is nailed down nice and tight against the face. That way there's no conflict when they go to slide these on. There's no wire. There's a little bit of room. Again, you can look here. This green is the frame, and this here's your LED box. So even if there was a wire here, I don't think it'd be too bad, but we just don't want that. So again, just make sure everything's collected really nice. So anyway, so I think that's it for fab. I think that's it for you. From here, I think I'm going to then break off, and I'll do a separate install video. But fab, go ahead and watch it, because that gives you a little bit idea also what to look for. But anyway, I think that should do it. If you have any questions, hit me up. Check the